back, everybody. We're in a bit of a winter wonderland today, but we're going to walk you through one of the uses for our compact tractor here on our property. If you're anything like us, you rely on it for all kinds of things, but one of those big things for us is getting all the snow out of here. So I'm going to take you back in time to yesterday when we spent some time setting up our tractor with all the different things we think it takes to make a real efficient snow moving machine. So stay tuned and I'll walk you through that. So our first step is these tire chains. And tire chains are one of the things that until we tried them, we had no idea we needed them. I plowed our driveway for several years without the chains and fell off the side of the driveway several times, slipped down, didn't flip the tractor or anything, but got stuck. Struggled to push large quantities of snow. And now we bit the bullet. We have tire chains. This will be our second year using them. So I wanted to walk you through the importance and how we slap them on. So the importance from us stems from, we've got a pretty hilly driveway here. So if you have a flat driveway and it's paved, you might be able to get by just fine without tire chains. Even if you have a gravel driveway that's flat and you don't need to move a whole bunch of snow, you'd probably be fine without chains. But these make a world of difference in trying to plow any amount of snow on any amount of grade with our gravel driveway. So you don't need a ton of clearance, and I'm going to chuck the tires up front. I've got the loader down, and I'm going to put it in neutral. Should have had neutral first, so we're able to spin these bad boys. So another upgrade I've done to this tractor in particular is these tire spacers, these aluminum spacers back here. Those are 2-inch spacers, and a lot of people will tell you need them to account for this clearance between the fenders. So if this chain was 2 inches closer to the fender, you can see it'd be pretty darn close, if not touching. And since these steel fenders on the Kubotas are so expensive, it's probably worth running the spacer for that clearance reason, on top of all the other benefits that these spacers give the compact tractors. So to give you some idea, well, there's no snow on the ground. This is my driveway, part of it. It's about a third of my driveway. What you can see, there's another 2/3 beyond that. And the camera doesn't do it great justice, but that's a pretty significant hill going down to the brook there, and then another hill going back up. But yeah, like I said, these chains are gonna settle. As much as I tried to lay them where they're gonna go, they're gonna settle into these grooves wherever they're most comfortable, and that's going to cause us to tighten things up. But it's good enough to start rolling. So now we can let her down. Oh. So another thing I do in the winter time is I'll add a shot of this diesel fuel supplement by Power Service into the off-road diesel. I don't think we'll have any problems, but it does get well below 0 in my area, Fahrenheit, so it gets pretty cold. This is just a good peace of mind. Again, probably don't need it, but also probably doesn't hurt. Off-road diesel was $3.51 today, which is about 58 cents cheaper than the fully taxed stuff. I did my fair share of research before I went and bought these things after sliding off the edge of the driveway a couple times, and this is what I landed on. I landed on this diamond pattern. These are from tirechains.com. I bought them right from Amazon, and they're about $750 for the pair, so not super cheap, but they shouldn't go bad on you. And I didn't want to go with anything for the front. I read that that could be quite a bit more trying on your front axle, so this is pretty foolproof. It does make for a bumpier ride over frozen ground like we're on right now, but well worth it for the extra traction you get. And then moving on to the next thing for the ultimate snow plowing setup with a compact tractor, a lot of guys will run a V blade on the back, something to move snow, or you can put a box blade. You don't need ballast in the sense that you're going to be lifting a bunch, but you do want weight in the back, and that's mostly to put weight down and it'll ultimately give you more traction. So this is our 3-point carryall that's on the back of the tractor about 90% of the time, I'd say. So I'm going to put this back on here. I just took it off so I could squeeze it back, jack back there and show you some things on camera a little better. But we'll throw the 3-point carryall and a couple of heavy firewood rounds, and that's enough weight. We're calling for 6 to 12 inches of snow, but it's going to be cold, so it should be pretty fluffy if I'm lucky. But yeah, a handful of firewood rounds will go a long way and add an extra bit of ballast. And we can carry other things we want to shovel if we want to shovel out the mailbox or things like that. Okay, I think we've addressed the biggest downfall of these tractors when you go to do some real heavy work is the traction. They're light tractors, but with the chains and some weight back there holding the chains down, we're in much better shape. Now we're getting to the exciting part. But before we do, if you have any interest in tractors, firewood, chickens, anything like that, I'm going to try to keep entertaining you here on the channel, so please consider subscribing, liking this video. It means a lot to me. But from there, we'll move up front to the plow. Alright, so the plow is what we're calling the good part. So obviously if you've got a tractor in a cold climate, you probably have a bucket, and you can certainly move snow with a bucket. It's just inefficient, cumbersome, and yeah. We decided right off we wanted to go with the plow. We're moving into our 4th year of service with this thing. We don't take particularly exceptional care of it. It stays in the field all summer long. You keep it greased up real good. But this is a 72-inch, they call it a front blade from WR Long, and we went with the hydraulic model, so it'll turn either way. We went with the 72-inch, so it'll cover our track width. When the blade's turned at 30 degrees, it covers the 60 or so inches of the track width of the tractor, so that works out real well. And yeah, like I said, still relatively new to us. We haven't used it on pavement yet. We just use it on our gravel driveway, which is frozen most of the time we've used it. Haven't done anything to the blade yet, and you can see there's some minor cupping on either edge just from the miscrowning of our driveway, but that's to be expected. That's all serviceable. And yeah, I just greased it up real good for its first use. You got grease zerks on both ends of each cylinder there, 1 in the middle, and then 2, this thing will trip just like your normal truck plow. That's what these springs are for, if you hit a rock or something, so you don't hit your tractor, doesn't come to a standstill. The plow will just trip and you keep on going. I don't know if you'll see any of that in the footage tomorrow when we're tackling some snow, but I'll fire this thing up now and show you how it articulates. Moves just about how you'd expect it. And the good thing about the tractor over, say, a pickup truck is that you have the full lift height. You can, as far as making snowbanks, you can plow up into a bank and then lift and over, so you're able to move a lot of snow pretty efficiently with this thing. And this thing is shorter than most trucks with a plow, even with this setup. So yeah, let's see how she works. Yeah, so some real good things about all that articulation. Before I got the chains and I spent more time down in the ditch, you can push yourself out of just about any situation with this thing. Been able to push yourself side to side, up and down, so that worked out real good. But hopefully we don't run into too many scenarios like that anymore. And I don't have a cab, so that's the ultimate setup, is a cab tractor. I'm still young and healthy, and I don't mind being out in the elements, but it's pretty cold and rainy out there sometimes. So from the tractor seat, I can see these adjustable shoes without much trouble. Thing's very forgiving setup with a gravel driveway, but especially when it's frozen, the driveway is frozen now, so that's a lot easier. It becomes more complicated, and you got to be a little more careful when things are thawed out. But you can see the shoes from the tractor seat, and that give you a good idea of what angle you're at. I don't have whiskers or whatever they're called on either side of the plow. You can see real good, and that's another thing about this tractor setup. You you can finesse things a lot better than you could, say, in a pickup truck. You can see exactly where the bottom of the front of that blade is, and back dragging in front of the garage rather. A piece of cake with this. So tomorrow I think the weather's going to cooperate enough where we can do our snow clearing in the daylight hours, but auxiliary lights are pretty much a must-have as far as I'm concerned. These are brighter than they look on the camera here, but these are just a couple LED pods from ropslighting.com. It's a really cool plug-and-play kit. It only takes, I don't know, 15, depends how quick you are, 10-15 minutes to install. They have the factory wiring plug, so it plugs right into your available work light plug, and yeah, you can't beat it. Another thing I'll mention, if in case I forget tomorrow, is we don't always need it, but we opted for this block heater when we went and ordered the tractor. These modern engines are pretty resilient and they can warm up on themselves in the cold, but if I have enough lead time knowing I'm going to need the tractor when it's super cold out, that makes a big difference. I'm sure it helps the engine quite a bit, but yeah, speeds up the warm-up time for the engine anyways. Alright, this video is a little drawn out here, but I really wanted to show you guys all the steps that we take to get our little compact tractor ready for what we're calling optimal snow removal. It's been trial and error over the past few years, but I think we're in a good spot now, and hopefully it's worth it, and show you guys what works, what doesn't, at least with our skill set in our area, on our land, and this is what's going to work. So I'll catch up with you guys tomorrow, tuck the tractor in the garage for the night. I suspect we'll have quite a bit of snow to move around tomorrow. The weatherman's been talking about it all week. He says we're in the 6 to 12 inch band. I don't suspect he'll be that wrong, so we'll get some good footage of what this thing's capable of on a kind of a large scale snow clearing operation. So see you tomorrow. Here I'm just working on the 4th pass, so what you see is about a 14-foot cleared section from my 4 passes so far. I start and end at the house, so 4 is a good even number to get me back to the house when I'm done, and that's usually, unless we have a ton of snow, I can clear all this pretty quickly. You can obviously be as neat as you want and scrape this down. I'm gonna have to come back out later tonight when it stops snowing, but I wanted to film this for you. Well, I'm up against daylight already, so I think I'll sign out here, but I'll just say one more time, I really don't think you'll be disappointed with a front angle plow like this. Works great. The driveway really is a piece of cake and goes pretty darn quick. It's all this stuff around the house we like to keep clear, up around the barn, up around the sawmill now, up against the wood yard. That takes some time if we want to keep it nice and neat, but yeah, no complaints. Thanks you guys for following along. Really appreciate it. We'll see you at the next one, and take care.